Your emotions are not bad, point blank, period. Quite frankly, a lot of us are dealing with traumatic things, even if it's just in the sense of the things that we're just seeing online. Just holding everything in is really going to affect you. It would be silly and also, silly. I would say silly and irresponsible even. The enemy loves to do is to isolate us and to make us feel like we're just going through everything by ourselves. You might just need a good cry. For a moment there, I didn't want to share it, but I'm just share it, whatever. Hey, what's up? It's Michelle. Welcome back to Chats with Michelle. I finally come to learn and accept that I'm an empath, and that's just gonna have to be okay. So today I want to talk about redeeming your emotions. How many of us have heard things like, why are you so sensitive? It's not that deep. Just get over it. Or possibly even telling yourself the same thing. Just really wanting to hurry up and move past your emotions or your feelings. And this is something that I'm now coming to realize that I've struggled with for quite some time, a very long time. And I feel like the Lord has finally got me in a place, in a space to make me sit down in those very sad feelings and deal with them. One of the books that I recently read is called The Garden Within. What I really enjoyed about this, well, fun fact, what's so funny about this book is that I've actually had it for 2 years now already. And I just recently, like within the last month or so, cracked it open and finished it. So I thought it was really funny that I've had it forever and I'm just now getting to it. But what I love so much about it is that it talked a lot about not only just like your emotions and things like that, but it just took like biblical theology, but also psychology and the brain and science, and it just brought it together, and it just really helped me to really understand and get a better understanding of just feelings and emotions and why like they actually are important, and God really does care about our feelings. And I just kind of wanted to touch on it, not so much so going so much into what the book is saying, but more so just highlighting and really, if anything, giving you permission to feel your feelings, to sit in those feelings, and like your feelings are valid. Now that doesn't mean that we sit and we harp in them forever, and that's one of the things that I've just been learning. It's like feel them, but also comb through them, get to understand them. And you can understand it through things like therapy, prayer as well. Like I believe that if we speak to the Lord would speak to us as well. But more so of just not demonizing or weaponizing your feelings and just being like, getting frustrated with yourself or allowing people to project that on you of, feeling the way that you feel. Like feelings matters. Feelings are important. And if anything, if you were honest, and you would know that also how you feel can really sometimes dictate the way that your day goes. Like I said, you don't necessarily want to totally surrender to your feelings and just allow it to just, go on uncontrolled for long periods of time. But at the same time, it's just making the time and being intentional about sitting through things and not just rushing past things and combing through why you may feel the way that you feel. In full transparency, something that I've dealt with a lot this year has been frustration and disappointment, quite frankly, but something that the Lord just kind of kept putting to my forefront, just bringing me back to, was the very word that he placed on my heart this year, which was surrender. And because I'm hard-headed, it did take me a while to just kind of get the grasp of what it is that he has been trying to get me to understand. And it's pretty much just surrendering those things to him quite literally, and letting go of just needing to be in control of everything. And I just want to encourage the same with you, right? When we talk about just, your feelings and your emotions, because things maybe not working out the way that you had hoped, or just everything, right? Trauma, things that have happened to you in the past, things that may have traumatized you, because that's a real thing. I know in today's society, within the last few years anyways, mental health and trauma, those have been kind of like buzzwords and maybe a little bit overused, but at the end of the day, they're still real things. And like, it's important for us, and I'm learning that it's important for us to sit and to really comb through those things and really get to the root, because I think that will help us all regulate those emotions and those feelings. So funny, I was speaking to someone recently or so, and they're like, Michelle, you're just so like you just seem so calm lately. And I really just attribute that to the Lord. Seriously, it's not even like to be super cliche, but I just feel like, I'm just finally learning and working on it. Some days are easier than others, truthfully, but I'm just working on just releasing those things, giving them to God, but also just feeling the things, right? Trying to get to the bottom to the best of my ability. In some cases, you might actually need a therapist to assist you as well, right? Everything is not for us to do by ourselves. I believe that God put therapists on this earth for a reason, right? So you may need to walk through it with a therapist, maybe a really good friend that you trust, your spouse, a family member, someone you trust, like I was saying. But at the end of the day, or talking to God, that's actually great too, right? But at the end of the day, it's important for us to just really sit with those things, right? Sit with what's going on and not just feeling the need to rush and move past things so quickly. And I talked about this in the last video that I did, and it was me just understanding, and I've said this so many times before, but it was like God just really having to just get me to understand the pace of grace. In today's society, in today's world, especially if you're in this country, which is America, it is crazy out here. It can be quite unsettling many days, like just unsettling. You're like, Lord, what is going on? It's just crazy, and quite frankly, a lot of us are dealing with traumatic things, even if it's just in the sense of the things that we're just seeing online on our phones, right? We're just being exposed to so much. And I think it would be silly and also just like, yeah, silly. I would say silly and irresponsible even. I think I will even say to not think that everything that's going on in this world isn't affecting you in some kind of way. And for you to really just go through those emotions and really walk through them, even if that's walking through them with God. One of the things that the Lord is working on me with personally, and this has been like my whole life, child, but one of the things is, and I'm gonna just share it now. For a moment there, I didn't want to share it, but I'm gonna just share it, whatever. One of the things that I deal with, and it can probably be a little bit of pride, but like, I don't like being embarrassed. Like, I don't like that. I don't like being embarrassed. I don't like feeling embarrassed. Like, I just don't like it. And if maybe you would be honest with yourself, maybe that's something you struggle with as well. Now, embarrassment isn't just like, oh, I peed my pants and it's not that. It can be more so of like maybe the embarrassment of wanting to share with someone that you're struggling currently right now, or I don't know, you got ghosted, or just situations that are happening in your life. One of the things that that I've been working on, and I've been getting better at in different like friendships and things like that in my life. They have let me know that I've been better at this, but I have a really hard time asking for help. It's like, oh my gosh, it's like you literally, like, I will bleed before I ask for help. But I feel like I've gotten a lot better, even if it's just offering up information in the sense that, you know what, like today I had a hard day. I need to just share this with you. I need to share this with someone, because the biggest thing that the enemy loves to do is to isolate us and to make us feel like we're just going through everything by ourselves, and just keeping everything, on the hush hush and secretive, because you're embarrassed, or you don't want to tell anyone, or you feel like you just can't trust nobody, and nobody, like that whole thing. Listen, that's whack. You need to find somebody in your life, even if it's just one person who you can open up to, because all of that, just holding everything in, is really going to affect you. It's going to hurt you. One of the things that I read in this book, she was sharing how Dr. Anita, that is, she was sharing how crying is good, and not even so much so of like, because you're so sad, etc. I mean, that could be the case, but she mentioned because it literally releases pressure. Like a lot of times we can be so uptight and so whatever, and like maybe you don't want to cry or whatever. It's like you might just need a good cry. Like you might need to just listen, this is your permission today to, if you're afraid to cry in front of people, you don't like people seeing you cry, then listen, go sit in your car, go take yourself on a walk to the park, go, this is my permission to let you isolate yourself in this, in this instance, and just go let it out, go cry if you need to, you know what I mean? Just like release, because you'll feel that, like, you might feel better, you might feel lighter because you're just holding everything in. And yeah, let it out. Like, free yourself, like, from all of these emotions. Like, we've been taught, and why I love this book so much, because like I said, it was also so scientific, but we've been taught so much that, like, our emotions are bad, or being sad is bad, or being emotional is bad. Like I said in the beginning of this, I had to come to the realization and accept, and I was like, I am an empath, meaning that I feel really deeply, but I feel really deeply for people. Like, I genuinely care about people, so much so that it's like burned me many times actually, but I deeply, deeply care about people. And there was a season and a time in my life where, like, I was like, I'm never talking to nobody ever. I was like, I can't trust people. People are just weird. I don't know. But like, over time, over the last several years anyways, the Lord had to really, like, encourage me and show me that I need to open up. And I've been better in some seasons than others, right? Like, some seasons I'm like really cool, and the other seasons I'm like, all right, I'm good. Like, I can't. Like, you know what I mean? But at the same time too, like, people are gonna people, and you cannot do this life thing alone. And even like when it comes to your emotions, like, you can't keep it all to yourself. And I want to encourage you not to keep it all to yourself, because it's not good. It's not healthy. And your emotions are not bad. Point blank, period. Having emotions isn't a bad thing. Being sad isn't a bad thing. Because you are maybe a little bit more sensitive than the other person, that's not a bad thing. And don't let anybody tell you any different, because it's not. Yes, we need to maybe regulate them. So maybe you just need some assistance in regulating them. But emotions is not a bad thing. It's okay to feel. It's okay to feel your feelings. That's fine. If anything, I feel like it's a superpower. If you've been following me for some time, I used to always say that I am a purpose cheerleader. And over the last several years, especially like this year specifically, I kind of moved away from that. And I was like, all things accountability. I was like, I got to help you be accountable. You just need to be accountable. You can do it, because I genuinely believe this, because it's true, that you were born on purpose, with purpose, and for purpose. On purpose, because I don't believe that anyone's life is a mistake. You were meant to be on this earth such a time as this. With everything crazy going on in this world, we were all still meant to be here at such a time as this, with purpose, because I believe that you have a God-given gift here. Like, God gave you an assignment, and for a purpose, because with that God-given assignment, it is for someone else. Someone else needs what you have, even if it's just one person, right? So with that being said, I just was like, just on this, come on, like, especially at this year, I was talking about, like, my quarterly goals, and just, I was so serious about it. And I've still been very serious about it. And I'll give a little update at the end about how that's going or whatever. But anyways, I say all of that to say that in reading this book, so I'll show it up again one more time. In reading this book, it was actually really good. Well, I'll say this. It's a great book. I think I want to do like a video / podcast at the end of the year of just all the different books that I've read this year and why I just thought they were so great, or maybe what I took from them. And what was so great about this one in particular was because she talked about, she was sharing a story. Dr. Anita was sharing a story, and she was saying how she's not someone was asking her if she can help keep them accountable. And she's like, no, I'm not really good at accountability, but she's like, I'm a really great cheerleader. And then it reminded me of a few years back when I used to be like, I'm a purpose cheerleader. And it really encouraged me and inspired me to get back to that. So I want to get back to being a purpose cheerleader, your purpose cheerleader. Now, of course, that would still, come with bits of accountability and just still pushing you to do great things, because I believe that you was put on this earth to do your God-given assignment. But I think I'm just going to be changing that language to just being your purpose cheerleader, right? And I just love that, because I really love to inspire people and to really push people along, because I just think that everyone has such great things in them, seriously. And it's different scales. I talked about this recently too, but and God helped me with that, and contentment of understanding that everyone's great thing isn't going to be the great big stage. And that's okay. Like the people who have the stage, that's amazing. And the people who support the people on the stage, that's amazing. And even if it's just the one person, even if it's just your sister, your brother, your neighbors, you have a small group, like that's okay too. Whatever God has assigned you to, as long as he's getting the glory, then it doesn't matter how big it is, as long as you're being obedient. So yeah, and with that being said, I just want to share about just a quick brief update about quarter 3, being that it kind of came and gone. Quarter 3 has been just really eye-opening for me. I did get quite a few things done that I would have liked to get done. At the same time, the biggest thing the Lord had been speaking to me about is cultivating quietness and just quieting my mind a bit more. And just, I didn't realize it in the beginning, but I'm now that we're, at the end of it and it's come and gone, understanding just more of just like my emotions and just learning to forgive and let go, but just also understanding and wanting justice, but at the same time too not being offended, the whole thing. Yeah, no, the whole thing. So with that being said, I want to say thanks so much for tuning in today. I want to remind you that Chats with Michelle is on podcast platforms. You can click the link down below. It's on Apple and Spotify. I really, really appreciate it if you were to join me there and give it 5 stars. Also, if you found today's chat valuable, please consider sharing it with someone who may also find this chat valuable. And while you're at it, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe because listen, we've got so much to chat about. Bye.